Thank you for plugging into this Family Life News podcast, streaming issues-driven, family-focused news. Welcome to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm your host, Bill Price. Our guest this week, Kyle Anspach from Milton, Pennsylvania. He's connecting conversation and the gospel message, one cup of coffee at a time.
The Well Coffee House is sort of the brainchild of our lead pastor, Arlie Davis, at Christ Wesleyan Church. The initial vision was just to do something we've never done before, to reach people we've never reached before. So, we have a huge global missions footprint in areas that we focus in, and we really wanted to turn our attention to our local community. We have tons of programming. Most churches have lots of classes and options for people to, study or learn about a variety of topics, whether it's financial or spiritual, Bible knowledge, all those things. But none of that helps the people groups who don't want to come to church.
Yeah.
And so we've found that through a coffee house, you really don't get that church vibe, and then suddenly you're approachable.
Yeah. So exactly, and there's something to be said about sitting down for coffee and conversation. Just share with us about the connections that take place at the Well Coffee House.
That's kind of what we're all about, actually. It's just sort of creating those connections. So because it exists on campus, we see a lot of church staff, and we also have a private Christian school here. A lot of school staff and faculty will visit us during the day, and so our customer base, which is majority from our local community and not church attenders, without realizing it, are now interacting with church staff and pastors and directors, and pretty soon they realize, I didn't burst into flames, or he didn't judge me, or you know what I mean? There was no kind of shady looks off to the side, like, who is this person?
Yeah.
And they start to feel safe around those people, which is a huge first step.
How would you characterize the impact that the Well Coffee House is not just having on your church family there, but the community of Milton, Pennsylvania?
It's a great source of the connection to the community. We're able to utilize very simple forms of advertising, for example, invite cards and posters on the wall here and there to introduce the community to events that are happening at the church that they otherwise, once again, would have no way of knowing because they won't come to a service or don't see the video announcements, that kind of thing. So concerts, productions, those kind of things are great gateways or sort of entry points for non-church members and non-church community to begin coming into the church and experiencing something like a service for the first time. But actually one of our delivery drivers came to a service because he came to a concert that he saw a poster for in the coffee shop. So it's just, it's ways we don't even think about that people are just getting connected.
A lot of people are afraid to walk into a church, but, a coffee shop is an entirely different thing. What does that say to you about church today and how we do church?
I could really safely say that lots of people have had bad experiences. I think, and that's where those walls come from. It's unfortunate, and I don't think any church is immune to it. You just have to be really intentional and really careful. And I think we've just been blessed with just really good leadership, a team who understands that and seeks to reach people where they are.
You're listening to Hometown Heroes on Family Life. Our guest this week is Kyle Anspach from Milton, Pennsylvania. He's with the Well Coffee House, and you guys do a lot of things there, as you were mentioning earlier, but one of the things I found interesting was this effort to support clean water projects around the world.
It's just a neat opportunity, and it's actually kind of one of those big global areas that I shared that our church is involved in. Part of it was just nomenclature. We're the Well, so we might as well build wells.
Exactly. That's right.
We have a great relationship with World Hope, and so we don't do anything necessarily ourselves. We just funnel any extra funds, as well as all donations. None of our baristas take tips. So in lieu of tips, we ask for donations, and all of that goes to building fresh water wells, primarily Sierra Leone, Africa, but there's been a few others as well.
What do you enjoy most about your job, Kyle?
People. I'm a people person, and so I have an office and I have responsibilities, but luckily the office is off the corner of the coffee shop and the door stays open, and it's cool. Some people might find it intrusive, but I think most customers feel comfortable enough to actually just pop in the doorway and say hi, and it's just really great.
That's Kyle Anspach from Milton, Pennsylvania, this week's Hometown Hero. Join us next week as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.